What's going on, you guys? I want to show you a couple things that are very important for your boxing, especially if you're a beginner and you're going to get into sparring or you're getting ready for your first fight. This is critical. And I could also say that it has a lot to do with the Nate Robinson, Jake Paul fight. Now, we can say that, okay, Nate had some critical mistakes that we're going to cover, that we're going to go over. But first, what I really want to say about that fight is it was a mismatch. It was a match that shouldn't have been made to begin with, because the experience level, the gap is too wide. It would be like having Jake Paul go up against Nate Robinson in one-on-one b-ball, all right? No shot, okay? Without the training, without the practice, without you having the experience, it's a mismatch. So, you know, I don't know whose idea it was on Nate's side, whether he thought that he could step up to it, or whether someone said, hey man, you got this, you can do this, but he could, but he needed the experience. You know, Nate Robinson has all the athleticism, but he needed the experience. Get 4 or 5 amateur fights under your belt, or train with some pros and getting some of that experience. Jake Paul's training with pros, sparring pros, getting Padwork from pro coaches. So this is the level of experience. So that's first what I want to say is a mismatch. But secondly, let's get into the techniques and the technical aspects of it. You are a new boxer, you're getting into sparring, or you're about to have a fight, okay? You're getting ready for your first fight. First thing that you do not want to do, you don't want to rush your opponent. You don't want this. Okay, you don't want to end up being like one of those fighters who explodes and goes crazy out of the gates. The reason why is that if you aren't already experienced, the amount of force that you can walk into a punch with is quadrupled by the amount of weight and force you're putting forward. That's why they don't want boxers to jump in. If you're skilled and you're good, okay, and you can set it up, you can jump in with one shot. Or if you know that certain fighters move straight back and they don't like pressure, okay, then maybe you can jump in and get away with it. But overall, what you want to avoid is jumping in. So what do you do instead? Well, the best boxer to watch is Bernard Hopkins, if you want to learn this, right? Hands up, lateral motion, here, lateral motion, moving, all right? The way you want to think of it is like this. There's a dog on a chain, right here, a vicious dog on a chain, and he can only go so far, all right? And my wallet is right between his paws, it's right there. I gotta get that wallet. Someone's got a gun to my head. They're like, look, if you don't get that wallet, I'm gonna shoot you. So you've got to be tricky, right? The same thing with boxing. You got to go in there aggressive, but short and quick and cautious. It's got to be cautious aggression. That's the way you want to think about it. And when you box, if that dog is coming at you, biting you, that's not the time you want to be doing stuff until you get more experience. So when my opponent is punching, I'm moving. I got my hands up. Okay, now it's my turn. All right. All right. All right, then you're going to do something. The psychology, especially early on, until you become more elusive, until you become a counterpuncher, or until you develop an aggressive style. Even in an aggressive style is preparation for something coming back. You watch Tyson, you watch all the great fighters who are aggressive. They're moving their head all the time. They got their hands up, they're slick, they're ready. You're always prepared for what's coming back at you. So that's the first thing what you can take from that video is you don't want to rush in. You want to move side to side. You want to get to where you want to be. And then maybe you go quick, right? Right? You go quick, all right? And then you cover and then you get out. You punch on your time, your short exchange combos. When the other opponent is going, you cover, you move, you stay it safe. All right, second thing that's important to learn, and this is something that you have to develop. You're not gonna have this instinct, and this is something in an old video I did, I think back in 2012, I made a video on this. When and if you miss, you have to develop an instinct for when you miss, because these hands can see, all right? Here, okay? If I go here, I know I didn't hit anything. Oh, there I hit something. These hands can see, and you have to develop an instinct. If you miss a shot, You have to know that you're vulnerable at that moment. You're very vulnerable to getting a hit back. You know, watch Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. That's a really good example of when you are in the middle of a miss, all right, and you're caught there. So you have to develop two habits. One is either if you throw and you miss, you have to immediately move that head. You have to get into a habit for immediately moving your head or covering. Miss. Ah. Okay? You can also retreat, move your feet back. So it depends on your position. If I'm coming forward with a double jab right hand, boom, and I didn't really let it go, all right, maybe I've only got cover quick, right? Or if I go here, hook, maybe I got to dip and get back. Maybe if I'm going to go here, 1, 2, 1, all right, maybe I can pull. Once you feel that miss, especially here, jab, jab, overhand right, ooh, I feel nothing but air. I'm not going to wait to find out because my opponent might be here by now. Cover, and then get out. And that's an instinct that you have to develop. You can work it in shadow boxing. You'll know. Bum, 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 boom, bum, 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 home, oh, home, whoa. All right? Develop the habit for when and if you miss. You don't feel anything on the end of that glove. Your opponent is somewhere, and if they are free, that means both their hands are free to hit you. And you're going to see, I think when Nate Robinson threw with that jab, it's like 1, 2, 1, or Jake Paul step back, boom, through the overhand right. Nate Robinson was walking in, he was all air. But he didn't have a habit, just air, hand came down. Head is still there, boom. Gets caught with the right hand. You watch Tyson versus Roy Jones. Tyson is, head is constantly moving because Joe Roy Jones, boom. All right, you guys, so those two things are very important, especially if you're a new boxer coming up on the scene, getting into fighting, getting into sparring. Short combos in exchange. No rushing. Don't launch from 2 feet away. If you feel you gotta launch, you gotta get closer. And if it's too hard to get close, okay, you gotta fake, gotta move your head, you gotta jab your way in if you're really short. Okay, if you're same height or whatever, you gotta get closer. You gotta work on your legs and your footwork so that you're not lunging in and rushing somebody. It looks good. Sometimes it looks aggressive. Somebody's gonna rush you, right? But the body can't hit it. Only the hands can hit. So all you have to worry about is the hands. Somebody's rushing you. You just gotta worry about the hands. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're doing that with their body. If you're not getting hit with hands, don't worry about it. Maybe if it was wrestling or something else, okay, you'd have to have some answers. So the rushing, all right? No jumping or rushing in. Get to your place. You're defending against a rusher. Hands up. Okay, move laterally, Hopkins style. And then the second thing, this is not gonna come to you right away, but as you work in your sparring and you work in your shadow boxing, develop an instinct that when that hand misses, 1, 2, miss, 1, miss, you gotta cover, you gotta move your head right away and get out to safety. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. If you like the gear I'm wearing in this video, it's by BoxRaw, pioneering the boxing lifestyle. You can check out the link in the video description below. And of course, if you want instruction on boxing or you want support in general, precisionstriking.com, that's the place to go. Thanks for watching. Peace.